So this is something new from the Washington Post. Oh, and just quick message, they have a paywall up. I have learned that if you go under an incognito tab, like I'm doing here, that's how you can get past paywalls. So, or at least the Washington Post's. So just a bit of information there. But Facebook bans Louis Farrakhan, Alex Jones for hate speech, and there's a few other people there that I'll get to. But yeah, they banned them. Facebook has finally taken the extra step. Although you might be aware, Alex Jones has been banned before, but now it's this extra step here. And why am I talking about this? Well, for a few reasons. One, I think in the interest of, not even transparency, I guess, but to show am I going to be a hypocrite here? Am I going to look? Right here we have a picture of someone banned from Facebook that is clearly on the left, that is quite left-wing. And then someone on the right that is also quite right-wing. And am I going to say, well, we should have banned the one but shouldn't have banned the other? Am I going to not defend the one but and defend the other or something like that? No, I can say this across the board here. In fact, we'll go down. There have been several people banned from Facebook and also Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, so it's for the same thing, for hate speech. There is Louis Farrakhan there and Alex Jones, but there is also Paul Nealon, Milo, Paul Joseph Watson, and Laura Loomer. So there's quite a bit of different people here, at least from how I perceive them. So Louis Farrakhan, I'm not a fan of the guy, I'll be honest. The most notable quote that I know I'm aware of from him is the one where he essentially called Jews termites. I know he's he's the leader of the Nation of Islam, which I'm not really a fan of either. Yeah, Alex Jones, who I've watched quite a bit of his stuff years ago. I haven't really watched anything in the past 2 years or so. Paul Nealon, who I barely know anything about. Milo, who I haven't paid attention to. I didn't even know he was still on Facebook for years, since 2016 or whatever. Paul Joseph Watson, I followed both of his accounts. I like what he does. I don't agree with everything he does. Sometimes I disagree with his videos, but I think he's overall a good dude. And then Laura Loomer, who I won't say too much about other than not a fan of the slashing her tires kind of scenario, if you remember that. But pretty much all of these people are on the right except for Louis Farrakhan. At least depending on how you define left and right. But I will say I am opposed to all of these people being ultra banned on Facebook as they've been. I'm not a fan of this at all. And I'm going to say, again, across the board, not a fan of this. Now, can Facebook, I'm not even going to get into can Facebook do this? I am pointing out this is a bad thing that is happening. And the reason behind this, if you look how far they've really gone here, this isn't just we're banning your account or we're restricting your account as YouTube's done to quite a few people. This is kind of an extra step. For one, I think it's worth noting, for years, social media companies have been under pressure from civil rights groups to clamp down on hate speech on their services. So remember, a lot of people just get angry at Facebook, and sure, you can get angry at Facebook for actually going through with this, but you gotta remember what's actually happening. It's not like Facebook executives sitting up in their office saying, how can we exert our influence? Who can we censor today? That's not what's happening, really. At least I don't see any evidence that that's what's happening, because what's actually happening is you have these people, these Facebook executives, the people in charge of these decisions. They're constantly receiving emails, phone calls, letters, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of all kinds of pressure from some genuinely awful groups like Hope Not Hate, Stand Up to Racism, and the Southern Poverty Law Center. Now, again, Stand Up to Racism, why would I call that such an awful group? Look up their stuff. All three of these groups, they're smear merchants. They're awful people. These are not people that are fighting racism or fighting for civil rights. Actually, I would say Washington Post labeling them civil rights groups is false, even though sure that's the official term. But no, their job is to pretty much go out there and say, you're right of your center left or further to the right, then again, center left or even moderate left, or it's basically, we don't like what you say. Okay, we're going to pressure these social media. We're going to pressure Silicon Valley to take you offline. That's essentially what it is. Again, this isn't any kind of, you got to remember that if these terms of service were operated fairly, if they had a set terms of service that applied to everyone equally, then pressure groups wouldn't matter, right? You would just say, did this person break the rules? Okay, gone. Did this person break the rules? No? Okay, well, we'll keep them there. We're just not going to do anything. But no, instead it's all about pressure groups. It's can we pressure these social media companies enough to actually to actually ban someone because we want them to be banned? And again, I don't know exactly which pressure groups these were. I'm not saying I don't know exactly which ones they are. I'm just saying probably Southern Poverty Law Center, probably Hope Not Hate, maybe Stand Up to Racism, although I think that they're overall a much smaller group. and I don't know if they're part of this or not. But yeah, it's these kind of groups, like legitimately awful organizations. I'm not saying that because I disagree with their politics. I'm saying they are legitimately, like, their goal is to just, we don't like you, we're going to destroy your life. And it's not like, oh, you're a horrible person, we're going to destroy your life. It's like, oh, you have a difference in political opinion, you're a centrist, offline, stuff like that. It's crazy stuff. These are not good organizations. But this is the scary part here. Facebook says the newly banned accounts violated its policy against dangerous individuals and organizations. The company says it has always banned people or groups that proclaim a violent or hateful mission or are engaged in acts of hate or violence regardless of political ideology. Again, please, citations, please. Citations. We're not talking about some radical views. We're talking about dangerous individuals. Where's the evidence of this danger here? That's the thing. Now again, like I right before this, I looked up because people are no doubt going to bring this up. I tried to refresh myself on the Alex Jones case on defamation against did he cause harm to the victims of Sandy Hook, or rather the relatives of the victims of Sandy Hook, which I mean they are kind of victims in themselves. Did he cause that? Did he there was the guy that brought a weapon to the one pizza shop. Like, is he at fault for that? And as far as I can tell, the court cases are still happening. But if you want to make a case that, like, if you want to say, no, these people deserve to be ended, how about, like, I'm just trying to think of a possible system that will work. How about some kind of, like, evidence of some kind of court ruling? Like, let's say, okay, Alex Jones is on there, and the court rules that he is, like, that the court rules that he is at fault for the attacks on the verbal attacks on these people, the abuse of the victims of Sandy Hook, or he was responsible for his rhetoric was responsible for the people bringing weapons to the one pizza shop or whatever. Okay, if the court rules that, then I wouldn't necessarily blame Facebook for then saying, look, we're just referencing this court ruling, that's what they said, that violates our terms of service, okay. But as far as I know, that hasn't been ruled yet. If it is, like, correct me. I'm not saying whether it is or not. As far as I know, it's not. But the point of this being, if you want to cite a court ruling, okay. But that's not what's happening here. What's happening is pressure groups are saying these people are violent and hateful when they're not, and that's pretty much it. It's just it's the if we say it loud enough and if we say it enough times, people will start listening. Like, it doesn't matter if it's true. We just got to keep saying it, and eventually they'll push it. But no, we're looking at like, again, I have mixed feelings on all these people. Like Laura Loomer, that does not affect my life at all. If she is off Facebook, I don't really follow her at all. Every so often when she does something crazy, I hear about it, but that's pretty much it. That does not affect me either way. I don't pay attention to her stuff. But I don't want her to be banned because she is not violent or hateful or anything. Again, like, I think she does stupid stuff sometimes, but that's not Facebook ban worthy. And again, someone like Milo, it's like, the guy's provocatory, makes fun of people. He says some terrible stuff, and then he insults people. He says some things you could consider offensive, but again, ban-worthy, no. Paul Joseph Watson, again, seems like a smart guy, at least smarter than me, and that the guy I've been relying on his new news site, I guess Summit.news, I think that's him. But he's broken quite a few good stories. But it's stuff like that, like, why are these people being banned? For, again, policy against dangerous individuals. It's this kind of thing. It's like, I can tell you for sure. I can name Facebook accounts that I follow, and I follow them for this very reason, that are very dangerous, that are actively calling for violence, that are saying, yeah, like, I need you to get this guy deplatformed. Like, the one group I follow is like, yeah, it's actually near here. It's in my state. It's near Philadelphia. There is a group that's just like, hey, this one rock band is playing a concert at some place. We need to get them deplatformed. We need to call up this place and complain until they I can't talk today. Deplatform these people. I can't. It's just it's stuff that there's a clear double standard here, and it seems what's happening again. If you have a set rule, if you have set rules, pressure groups do nothing. That's the thing. If you have set fair rules, then constant pressure from these political organizations don't mean anything, because all you do is you look and say, well, did they do something off? Did they do something that violates the terms of service? Yes, okay, banned. No, okay, not banned. It's some ridiculous stuff, and actually this is all it here. But I did see there was another thing from there's a good Facebook page called Unbiased America, which again, usually when something calls themselves unbiased, then you have to be extra careful. But no, they put out They put out a good summary of this that led me to one of their sources was this story, and they did say that essentially you can get in trouble for sharing their stuff. So again, if you post a clip of Milo Yiannopoulos saying something that is not at all offensive or not at all ridiculous, like something that's just a genuine average opinion, nothing too radical, you can get banned for that. Your account can get banned for that. Like they are not like it's not like their accounts have been banned. It's that any account associated with anything they do will get banned. That's the crazy thing. Like that's the worrying thing, that it's just totally scrubbing these people off the internet. And again, you might say like, oh well, look, proof right here. Louis Farrakhan on the left, Alex Jones on the right. Proof that they're being fair about this, that it's left and right. Well, Louis Farrakhan's on the left, the rest of these people are on the right, and then they pick people like again Paul Joseph Watson, which is not a hateful dude. He's not dangerous. He has some edgy political opinions. That's about it. Like there's no danger here. There's no hate speech there. That's what's worrying, because again, what we've established here is that Facebook is willing to ban these people as dangerous when there's no evidence that they're dangerous, but political pressure groups keep calling them dangerous. That's the crazy thing. And what do you do? Like I don't even get it. I can tell that a lot of these awful organizations that constantly defame people, they have Facebook pages. So it's nutty. But yeah, that's pretty much it here. This was it for the Washington Post link, at least. I will leave a link to this in the description if you want to read it for yourself. Again, incognito tab to get around the paywall. Can that get me banned for telling people how to get around a paywall? I don't think so. But we'll find out, I guess. But yeah, just more crazy stuff. And again, people have been criticizing me, saying like, I'm sure there's people I've missed. I'm sure there have been loads of people that have gotten banned that I have not talked about. And that's because I probably don't know about them. Usually, whenever I see someone get banned, I try to do a video on it. I try to talk about it. Like, as soon as I saw this like 15 minutes ago, spent 3 minutes looking up the one court case, and then now I'm recording this. Or then I started recording this. But the idea, like, this is worrying. This is worrying. There's a clear double standard here. Because, again, I can name tons of accounts. And I don't even know if I really want to, because I'm not a fan of if these people are getting banned, then we should ban these people. I'm not a fan of banning anyone. Don't let these people, like, I'm only for banning people that are specifically calling for violence. And none of these people have done that. Again, if it were to turn out later, maybe if the court case rules against Alex Jones, then, and Facebook were to say, okay, that is our source, that is what we're relying on, then I guess that's something I could tolerate. That's somewhere I could meet in the middle on. But until then happens, until you can really cite something specific in saying that, because that's one of the big issues, is that people don't even know. Like, people don't even know what is okay and what isn't. Because I just know 2 people yesterday, 2 friends I know, got banned. Got their account got a 30-day suspension, and they don't even know why. They don't even know why. It's just like, hey, 30-day suspension. It's like, why? Well, 30-day suspension. That's all they say. They don't even tell you why anymore. They just say your account is acting unusual, and it's like, well, I understand if I were to suddenly increase my activity by 8,000%, and then sure, you could say maybe a bot took over or something, but it's stuff that it's very terrible how this stuff is run. It's run very terribly, and the fact is, whether you like it or not, Facebook has a lot of influence. A lot of people get their news off of Facebook, which is like, you can say Facebook isn't real life. Like, I mean, I understand that the internet is not the same thing as real life, but at the same time, a lot of people, like, you're watching this video here on the internet. A lot of people get their information from here, and it has an influence, and it's an issue when a lot of these pressure groups are just like, we don't like this person. Okay, let's lobby Facebook. Let's push and pressure them to ban these people just because we don't like them. And there's no set like rules beyond it. It's such hyperbole, because believe it or not, there are actually people out there that think like Laura Loomer or Paul Joseph Watson is a dangerous individual. And it's like, that's such hyperbole. It's just nonsense. It's like saying Bill Maher is a dangerous individual because he says a few things you don't like. It's like, you would just laugh in the face of anyone saying that. But it's just, yeah. And of course, I guess it goes without saying that InfoWars is also banned, but that all goes under Alex Jones. But again, there's not much more to say. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. Again, if there's anyone else that's been banned that you think is unfairly banned, post in the comments. Like, make people aware of it. If I haven't heard of it, like, make them aware. Hopefully, if you post a comment about it, like, I can help in that sense, that everyone will see that. But again, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.